This is going to be a demonstration of a couple of grip transitions for the knife and a dexterity drill that you practice in order to be able to do those transitions in the safest possible manner should you have to fight with a knife and you have to do a grip transition. Now normally you don't want to do grip transitions when you fight. It's just you may feel the need to go from one grip to another, in which case you'll want to know how to do the grip transition in the safest possible manner. But should you ever wind up fighting with a knife, you'll really want to stick with the one grip that you're really trained at using the best. You'll want to cover it, and that's how you open it. And practice that so that you can acquire quickly. I just tend not to cover it for the video so that you can see what I'm doing. But when you practice this, again, practice covering with the back of your arm so that you can get to where you can acquire it quickly. So the grip transitions that we're going to practice for this dexterity drill are a transition from what I call a saber grip, because it's how you hold a saber, to a reverse grip. And the reverse grip that I like to use is where you put the thumb on the back of the knife so that when you use it for grabbing, for example, or stabbing, you have a brace so that it tends not to let your hand slip down the blade. You have your thumb there. And the transition back to the saber grip, and we'll practice a flip transition, and those will be the transitions that we'll use. The first transition, how you're going to do it, is you're going to start from the saber grip, and you're going to scoot your fingers down on the knife. So you're starting up here, scoot your fingers down to give it some rotation distance, and just let it roll over. Then you're going to put your fingers back up onto the back of the knife. So that's the first grip transition. The next grip transition, you put your fingers back where they were, roll it back out, and then back up into the saber grip position. So that's how you do those two grip transitions. The next grip transition is a flip. What you're going to do is roll the second finger underneath and flip it to the reverse grip. Pull it with your thumb back down into the reverse grip position. So those are the grip transitions that we're going to use. Now the problem with doing a grip transition when you're in an actual fight is that you don't have a good grip on the weapon at this moment, and if you stumble or your hand gets hit or whatever, you have a chance at losing the knife. Even if you're just not real good at doing the transition, you might lose the knife just in the process of doing the transition. So, not a safe thing to do, not what you want to do a lot of the time. But when you do it, you want to be trained to do it under cover so that your opponent isn't liable to knock it out of your hand as you're doing the grip transition. So what we're going to do for this dexterity drill is we're going to start with our backhand in close to the body where it's safer so that it's not getting cut. You're going to cut down on an angle. Then you're going to cover it with the back of the arm out so that if you do get hit or a cut, it's going to go on the back of the arm, which isn't as deadly as this side of the arm where you have tendons and veins that you don't want to get cut. You don't want this cut either, but you really don't want this knife knocked out of your hand doing it out here and then get overwhelmed with stabs because you've lost your life. You've lost your knife, you've lost your life. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut down with this arm in protected. You're then going to cover it with the hand out. Scoot down, rotate into the reverse grip position, and we're going to do another cut down with this hand in closer to the body where it's now protected. Then we're going to do a grabbing motion. We're going to grab out this way. This is a grab and a pull. And you're going to cover the knife so we can do another transition back to the saber grip. We're going to stab. We're going to flip it up in, do the flip transition to stab on the high line. Then you're going to cover it again, transition back, and we will finish with one more stab. So those are the transitions that you want to practice in the dexterity drill. This isn't how you fight with a knife. This is just a dexterity drill that improves how you tend to transition when you do transition, so that it's covered and protected, or so that when you're stabbing, your offhand isn't out there getting cut up. So, we cut in, transition, cut in, scoop out, cover, transition, stab, flip, stab high line, flip back, stab one more time. That's the dexterity drill. Cut, cut, out. Stab, stab, stab. Cut, cut, out. Stab, stab, stab. Cut, cut, out. Stab, stab, stab. Cut, cut, out. Stab, stab, stab.